smiling with everybody, but what's happening? What is actually happening on the ground? Back to back. Not caring about me. Not caring about where I lived. Not making sure I was eating right. Remember, I'm a soldier. I'm a fighter. That's where I get emotional because if it
went through 36 hostels, then you got placed in semi-independent
accommodation.
So what is that framework like?
My baby looking too good, yeah, she perfect. No, she worth it. When she pull up, all them man, them flirting. And yeah, she know that she a dime. Call up on my line. Told her, baby, bring it one time. Yeah. Just sit down and relax.
Yo, what's really good though? It's your girl Yezzir, and you are watching or listening to another banging episode of Hey Sis UK. We were just talking about earlier with our guest co-host for this season, Chef T in Paradise Cove, about his journey. And we're about to tap into a few deeper layers right now. Chef T, how you feeling?
Really good, really good. You know?
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm just gonna share. I think I've said it or alluded to it, but I had a lot of anxiety about this process with yourself, and these are quite sensitive topics. And actually, just older and wiser. I want to not touch on. I've evaluated and experienced, and I'm now healing my own mental, health challenges, and some of the issues that I've experienced, which have been lifelong, they've been caused by overexposure.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And so for me, it's just been so. It's just I've wanted to make sure that the topics that we're both addressing, are done in the correct way. There's an element of giving grace, sometimes telling the truth of what it is.
Yeah.
But just finding the right balance, between that for both our audiences. And this is one of the few and rare occasions where. Well, actually, no. This is, it's perfect. Hence why I've been able to speak as openly as I've been able to. And actually, we've had a very positive, I feel, discussion on very traumatic topics. You know, and there's not many people who are able to bring that out of me. So, for those that are listening, I just appreciate that, and I just want to again say thank you to yourself and the team that are playing, in a huge part in this.
Oh, thank you. And I wanted to say thank you as well. Not
She wasn't expecting that.
No, I was not.
I did that before the credits. This is what I mean. There's more to it than what you see, and there is a genuine connection. But I think it's just appreciated because not everyone's getting this thing out of me. So.
Yeah, no, I really do appreciate it. I was going to say on behalf of not just myself but the listeners as well, is that we don't get an opportunity, especially the society we live in now. People kind of polish up themselves good and proper before they go on social media and present themselves. And you've come here in a raw form, and it's appreciated because your journey is an inspiring one, definitely. It's not, my own journey has not been the smoothest. So to have someone like you to talk with you on a real level, it's humbling for me. I'll be honest with you. And I don't feel alone. Because sometimes I feel like, oh, Chef T making me all soft and that. Because sometimes you feel like your journey is just like, am I the only one going through this, or this is like, how do I function?
But I went in to this is something that's so wrong in the black culture, and I'm going to say it with a piece of conviction in my chest, because we, particularly our generation, were not taught to express our emotions and feelings. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And another layer, another nuance, and I try not to really refer to these labels, but the reality is I can do the mental health thing or the black thing or the gay thing, but within the black culture, I don't even want to say there's so much oppression, because actually when we speak out, I've been going through that. Do you understand? But it's this culture of keeping it within yourself, so there's this embarrassment, and all you're doing is self-deprecating. Is that the correct expression?
Yeah.
You understand? And I go back to saying it's about doing that work and not being afraid of the outcome, because really, what is the worst that could happen? that I think, you can either stay where you are and continue to endure, or you can try to do something and hope for a better outcome. Do you understand?
That hope is so strong. And speaking of hope, I wanted to talk about your journey through homelessness. And a lot of us walk past homeless people every single day, especially living in a capital city that is London. And how many of us actually stop and think, hold on, how did this person get here? So my question to you, Chef T, is how did you become homeless?
Yeah, definitely. I think so. For me, the mechanics of my story is there was a lot of issues at home. Again, was it home? Was it the state? You'll never know. And that's me giving grace, you know? But I went in, I was trying to overdose. I was trying to take my life. Do you understand? So it just wasn't a good environment for me to be in. And the story went is that I ended up on the streets, you know? I presented myself to one local authority. So this is one borough. They didn't want to know me. Remember, I've had a social worker from the age of 4, so it should not have gotten to this point. However, it is at this point. They didn't want to know me. I've gone to another borough, and they didn't want to know me. So we're circling around a few months, you know, but this pattern of, you know, you're not our responsibility, go to another borough. You're not our responsibility, go to another borough. I could tell you it led me to sleep on the streets. I could tell you it led me to being attacked. You know, I could tell you that I had to get a solicitor and then take these 2 boroughs to court. And then they still didn't want to take responsibility for me for 3 months. So then we had to go for a 3-month court case battle whilst I was 17 and going to college with no funding or no money. So I was working, I was on state benefit. Do you understand? I can offload a lot of stuff to you. I think trying to be proactive and say, what am I going to do about it? Well, you know, I fought, and I'm going to share, I'm sure we'll do a cutaway for this, but just a bit of documentation. Again, this is from the pile-up of pile-ups, you know, and it talks about the Children's Act 1989, Section 17, and this is again, just part of the process of what I had to go through to overcome that homelessness, because under the Children's Act, Section 17 or Section 23, Section 17 is the cheaper alternative that councils try to use. You should be Section 23. If you're a child in need within the area, so if you're homeless, then you should be given a safe accommodation without question. They don't follow that rule. Do you know what I mean? So I had to get a solicitor to take 2 local authorities to court. Got housed in 36 hostels and bed and breakfasts before I was placed in semi-independent accommodation.
So what is that for people listening in? You said you went through 36 hostels, then you got placed in semi-independent
accommodation.
So what is that framework like?
So this is not the Tracy Beaker thing. So when we're talking bed and breakfast, it's really not. So the bed and breakfast, this is my life, so I've lived it. But the bed and breakfast and the hostels, these are like rundown Victorian buildings with about 100 people that are homeless. These are the people that the council don't want on the street. The drug addicts, the rapists, the ones that are witness protection. I mean, I could go on. Tell you stories about things getting stolen from me, all kinds of stuff. It's not a safe environment for children, all right?
Well, you were 17 at this time.
I was 16.
16?
Yeah, this is the fresh homelessness. This is before they wanted any responsibility for me, both boroughs, yes? I'm talking about bed and breakfasts, youth hostels. If the council don't want anything to do with you as a young person, or, you know, if you are an adult, then you'll be put in this place. And it's obviously a dangerous environment for young people.
Yeah.
Then, you know, there's many different schemes, but I was put into semi-independent accommodation, it was in Tooting called Blackshaw House. It's now a mother and baby unit. It was like 10 rooms on one floor, 10 rooms on another. What was it? Metal detector at the front with a security guard there, 3 office workers. That's where you got to live. And then you've got a microcosm of 10 people, all in their teen years, just being thrown onto the floor. You've got rules and regulations. No one follows them. You know, it's meant to be the safer alternative because you're not deemed responsible enough to manage your own independent place. But it's also meant to be deemed safer enough than a hostel. You know, I've just admitted it from my memory. It's neither here nor there. I mean, I did move again after that, you know, and again before I got my permanent place. But these things, although, you know, going back to the homelessness, we can speak about, you know, the damaging effect from that. To be honest with you, it felt more safe on the streets than it did in them places. And the reason why it felt safe on the streets is because you have more control of what you're doing in your life. Again, think about what I've just said. 16, 17. I didn't even have my national insurance number them times. You understand that? But I'm still making a change. Think about it. You're fresh off the education boat, yeah? Or fresh off the education conveyor belt, pardon me. You're trying to figure out who you are. You've got all of this going on. Fam, you just want some support. Yeah. That's what you really want, whether it be your friends, whether it be a teacher, and them people there, that's where I get emotional because if, you know, I didn't want to do that, you know, and I was doing well. No, I'm good, because this is the realness, because if it weren't for them people there, do you understand? Mr. Jones, Mr. Harmon, Tanika, and they're still there now in the background. I wouldn't be here telling this story now.
Yeah.
Those are the people that got me through to this place. Do you understand? They propped me up.
Yeah.
And when you're in them places,
yeah,
you know, you've got these support workers and key workers who don't care. Do you understand? And it's like, all right, you don't have to care. But if you say, yeah, we got a meeting, turn up for that meeting. Don't give me another formation of rejection because you're all I have. Do you understand? And that's kind of like why I fight so hard, because there's all of these laws, all of these regulations, all these things here to protect us. All of them. And this is why I don't want to do this, because like, it's a process of having to understand why I've had to experience so many people back to back, not caring about me, not caring about where I lived, not making sure I was eating right.
yeah,
Coupled with the fact that, you know, there's layers of me having to do this with my mum. So I've always been in the position of just having to help others. This is my narrative and my story. So when I look at them places and I see adults who have the ability to work, who have the ability to provide for you, and whether it be they don't care about their job, whether it be they've got something going on in their life. When you're under the age of 18, none of that shit, and I'm going to say, it don't matter, do you understand? You are not in a position mentally, emotionally, financially to be looking after yourself. So get off your ass and go and do something, because this is the consequence. Remember, I'm a soldier. I'm a fighter. My accolades, whether they be academic or whether they be in physical formation, they prove that. So I don't even have to chat and have this conversation with you. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But when we're talking down to pounds, shillings and pence, we're talking about age, we're talking about the emotional longevity of this. It has an impact, and that's why I've always tried to give my life in various forms, various formations, to make sure that these things don't happen. But I wouldn't say that it's too traumatic and triggering to even unpick it, and that's why I said I'm so grateful for this conversation that we've had, because it's gone in a positive direction. But it's like, I don't even want to think about that. No. I don't. And I'm just one person. And I'm one person who's brave enough to put my thoughts and opinions out there. Do you understand? There are thousands of people who don't get that opportunity. Thousands of people that contact me. It is sometimes an overwhelming position, but that's why I say it's just such a harrowing thing, because I know that my experience, the one that's here on this podcast, on YouTube, or whatever form of social media, is one in thousands. And the saddest part of it is the fact that I've had to, in preparation for this and in the line of work that I'm doing, I've sat there and I've looked on the government research, again, Google, you understand? Go look at the Josh McAllister report, or whichever next one is out. The figures are getting worse, let alone the black people. I'm just talking about care leavers, do you understand? If I start to unpick all these other metrics, they're not getting better. But you wouldn't...
Figures for what specifically?
Sorry, the numbers of children that are going into care, all right?
Oh,
so
wow.
if you look at this report, I couldn't even give you the name of it right now, but the main headlines of it is things are getting worse. So this is 15 years after my plight. Do you understand?
Yeah.
In my local, I think it was in my local borough, that the number of children that were presenting themselves homeless or needing support had risen by 10%. If you look at the national statistics, it was like 2,000 extra children went into care this year. But nothing in our new government agenda is talking about this. No. Nothing in the new manifesto. So I don't even want to hear what this government has to say. I want to hear about any of these local MPs, because what you're doing is killing teeth, taking pictures, smiling with everybody. But what's happening? What is actually happening on the ground? Do you understand?
Yeah.
It's just, this is why I say when I become this person and it starts to draw, I wouldn't say a negative energy, but it infuriates me so much, because these people that are only in term for 3 years, 4 years, they don't actually care about the role. You know, you do get the odd few, but it's about where are we going to really make this difference. And I'll say this time and time and time again, you know, because there's 50 odd years worth of paperwork sitting here. I could write a couple of books, I could mention other people, but that's 50 years worth of real experience versus 50 years worth of constant political reform, constant paperwork, constant campaigning, constant people talking, constant Black Lives. Do you understand? There's movement after movement. Where is the follow through?
So from a political standpoint,
that's what I'm trying to get to. Where's the follow through that actually makes not the difference that we're all going to promote about with infographics and figures and it looks great and it gets us investment and, you know, I can be a director of it. No. I'm talking the real things that benefit people so they don't have trauma, so they don't replicate it within their children, so they have a healthy relationship. I'm talking about metrics that ain't measured and don't need to be. Do you understand?
Yeah. Because my things that I'm asking is that obviously.
So I went off there.
No, you didn't. You landed it perfectly because obviously there's a shift that's happened, elections that have happened in our country. There's elections going on and campaigning in America, and people will say, you know what, black people don't go out and vote, and you're a person who has been failed by the state time and time again. So when you have someone tell you, well, you need to go out and vote, the statistics say that your people don't go out and vote. What runs through your mind when you do hear that?
So for me, when it comes to voting, I mean, at this current present state, I guess just say no comment. You know, I'm indifferent, and the reason why I'm indifferent is because I've gone through more than one life cycle of government elections, and I don't know what we've just gone through. You gotta laugh at that one.
Yeah, it's laughable.
No. I just no longer care. You know, and I've sat there and I've wondered how far I could go in my life and how much I want to help people. But the reality is, I choose none. I'm in a position presently where I choose not to be governed by people.
Okay.
You know? And there's a lot of policies, there's a lot of bureaucracy, there's a lot of nonsense in that thing. Do you understand? And it's like, why am I even going to try and fight it? Because, as I said, when you look at, as much as I'm inspired to do it and I believe I have the confidence and I'd want to, I voted before, it's had no impact. Other people voted, had no impact. So it's not that I'm saying to people don't vote, but you certainly have to make sure you know where your energy and time is going. For me,
don't forget to subscribe to Hey Sis UK so you never miss out on an episode.
Is going. For me, I wouldn't say I'm anti-government. You know, I'm just about people.
Okay.
You know, there's a great example of Brixton Soup Kitchen. I've got Dan from Brixton Streetwear. Hey Dan, I'm wearing your t-shirt, you know, but these are people who are on the floor right now. Yeah. And those are people, like me and you, we are the ones that are doing the work and benefiting real people. And I can't make it much more simpler than that. And, you know, taking away from voting, this is where my time and energy goes to, because I know it's going to have an impact. If in the future my narrative or opinions change subject to where I am and how this is working, so be it. But I don't even feel like I even want to click on nothing and download no application form for no voting nothing, because it's a waste of my time. I'd rather go online and find an influential person that I know I can connect with. Yeah. It's going to have real impact. Because I'm sorry, you know, when you look at things like, I'm not even say Black Lives Matter, but, you know, do you remember the whole hoopla in Parliament with the apology for, you know, slavery, we never got it and all of that? Yeah, we're still waiting for that, aren't we?
Yeah. And I thought, because of the mule, but hey.
Yeah, and we could take it to a different level. Well, look how many things we're waiting for there. You understand?
I've stopped waiting. I'm not holding my breath.
No, but that's what I mean.
Yeah, I have to move. Because if I stand and wait and have my hand out, and nothing will come. Nothing will come.
And then do you see where I go back to my point? So these people control our lives. They control our housing. They control the energy. They control the food that we eat. They ain't benefiting me. Well, I'm going to vote for any one of you. Look. I'd rather invest in my own ecosystem that is going to provide for me. Because to be honest with you, if we just even succinct this whole series, I'm sure was easily ascertainable. Very simply, the only time my life has actually been positive is when I've invested in it. When
you've taken control. Yeah, okay.
If you look at it from me cooking in my yard, even if I'm me cooking in my yard, it then becoming a teacher, it all started to go a little bit funny. And it's all because other people are doing their own thing. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And then the second I said, no, I'm out of that. Start focusing on myself. Even down to the story of my restaurants, because this is my third restaurant. And I'm not saying that in a bragging way. I'm saying that to give you context, because I had the first restaurant, opened that on 6 gram. Then I had the second restaurant, and I bought that 4 months down the line. Had no investment. I just flipped money and made it work, Now, I overexerted myself. My career went a little bit. It just didn't really perform as well as it could. But I was trying to split myself over 2 environments. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So I got rid of one and I put my energy into one.
What were the 2 environments?
The 2 shops. Sorry.
Okay.
So I basically had 1 shop. I thought I could be ambitious. Expanded to 2, but I was trying to put my energy in 2 places. It wasn't working. Do you understand? And this is my thing. You've got to invest in yourself. So I said, bun the second one, focus on that. And it started to excel. And then obviously, you know, got rid of it. And it's the same story again. I'm investing into one. I know if I put my energy here, it's going to get me something positive. So, you know, it's like I know that formula for success.
Yes.
You know, I know straight away today I've got 15 people. Cool, that's about 2 hours worth of prep. And it's going to generate me an income. That's my focus. I know today we've got this, and... Do you understand? I know how this is going to work.
So speaking of success, speaking of your ecosystem, we're in Paradise Cove, your restaurant. Chef T, 10 years from now, where do you see yourself?
I do it day by day. You know, I don't really have any targets for this place. It's just to keep going. The targets are daily. You know, make sure we hit a certain level of income, make sure the staff are all right, make sure we maintain our reputation. That seems to create goals in itself, because people always come and say, oh my God, it's amazing. And we're here longer because I've just focused on small, bite-sized chunks.
So that's one of the, and I want people to take this away, that one of your keys to success is the day-to-day goals, the daily goals, as opposed to doing the long stretch of years on.
Yeah, I mean, you can always have a plan, but plans never go to plan. You might have the intention, but you've got the flexibility. And the thing is, I haven't spoken about money. I haven't spoken about any of that. I've just realized my point is maintaining this, and this seems to maintain the longevity. Do you understand? If I go in this straight away and be like, yo, man just wants a 20 bags, and you start to cut corners, you get the wrong practices. My restaurant started here with no bar fridge, with what, 2 little, was it Russell Hobbs microwaves? I've now been able to refurbish the whole restaurant. We've got builders here whilst we're...
Yeah, literally, we got builders in there.
This was not part of the plan. You know, I mean, I'm not being overzealous. Any other goals? You know, I sit there and look at... No, and that's why I hate those questions. I'm not going to say anything on that, because when it's meant to be with me, it's meant to be the same. Like, you know, I share this to the fullest as how we've connected. You know, we tried, I wouldn't say we failed, but it's just happened, and today hasn't, I wouldn't say gone to plan. We had an idea, but there's an organic nature to it. And when I operate on that vibration and frequency, things come to me at the right time, when they're supposed to, when it's meant to be. When you go in there seeking these things, and it just opens a whole plethora of issues, you know. And for me, fame, glory, it's never meant to be about that. That's what I've always said in what I do in my social media, and I hope it will be the same. And this is whatever you gravitate towards. It could be the food element, it could be the entrepreneurial element, it could be do you understand? It's about what your vibration is seeking and what whatever level you up. And for me, I have to keep doing that and just see kind of what comes, you know?
Because you said you've had the house, you had the career in teaching that was paying well, you had the Mercedes-Benz, and you still felt empty inside. Yeah,
like, by the time this is edited post-production, I love that, thank you for bringing that up as well, you know? Like, I've been dabbling with expanding and what that kind of looks like, and the interactions that I've had on that, you know, dealing with a certain class of people, certain race of people, people have money. It depends how you want to look at it, because it's not a racist thing, it's the truth. All right, there's certain classes out there that do better than others, and they are formed of by a certain race. It doesn't mean to say black people aren't in that. It just means they are generally formed of a certain race. However, for me, it's like, it's better the devil you know, because I'm watching other people do it and it's influencing me. Do you get it? And if I have to sit down and, you know, be a man of my word, I look at what have I just said to you? And it's not that I'm not influenced, it's about the fact that I'm aware of it. That's not my goal. That's not what I've aligned for. That's what you want to do. So scrapping all of that and come back to this, and I feel centered. And I'm like, I've been able to walk away from opportunities. I've been able to say, I ain't working with you. I don't even respond to certain people sometimes because it's not my goal. And even down to this whole, you know, no discredit to that comment about where you want to be. They're not business targets. In fact, what I should say is, you know, what I want Paradise Cove to be is a hub for black people. Because we don't have that space in London. We do not have a restaurant space. We don't have a restaurant space, firstly. Let's just be real. All right. Or we've got 1 or 2, and half of them independently owned. many places that we have to go charge you the world and its wife. We don't have anywhere that just serves good quality comfort food.
Yeah.
You understand? All of that's been taken from us, and what going back to the whole culture being sold back to us, the places that we do have that are not owned by us. How the hell, pardon my French, but how can we have non-white people owning a what's the word? Owning black culture and then sending it to black people?
Yeah.
That's why no one can come chat to me. You might not like my food. You might not like the environment, but ordinarily they do. Check the reviews on Google.
That's right.
But
4.8 rating.
the top in the country, and that's
Yeah.
you know, that's something to be proud of. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's a testament to 3 years of hard work, and it's also a testament to I've thrown away everything I didn't want. As I said, I threw away the Mercedes. I don't teach no more.
Yeah.
I've thrown away connections, etc. I am just focusing on turning up. Even today, it was like there was a bit of prep behind this. I got up today and made sure that I was here on time, and I'm just focusing on this. And look how well we've done. Do you understand? And it's like that was my goal.
Yeah.
You know, if anything comes out of that, it does. You know, and that's kind of where I'm at. So I really hope that long term wise, we just continue to do what we do, and whatever forms and manifests out of that, then so be it. But yeah.
I love that. Chef T, you've inspired a final takeaway from me, man. I was going to leave all of them for you. When I see you walk away from the teaching career that seems to anybody to the naked eye, $4,000 a month in Dubai is very comfortable, the Mercedes Benz, the luxuries that come with that lifestyle, and you say, no, my mental, my heart, I'm taking control of my life. My soul, I'm gravitated to going on the entrepreneurial route and owning my restaurant and creating an ecosystem that goes beyond that. Is inspiring. And what my final takeaway is for people watching and people listening is that when you feel the urge in your spirit's telling you take control, please don't ignore it. Take control unapologetically. Guys, please, like I said, come down to Paradise Cove. The food is banging, you know. You better come down there and try it out. Make sure you're following Paradise Cove on all the social media platforms. Particularly your main one is Instagram, isn't it?
Yeah.
Make sure you're following me. Make sure you're following Hey Sis. Subscribe, like, drop a comment. And if there's anything in particular that you have opinion-wise about the show, you know where to put it. Under everything that's going to be posted. You have been listening or watching another banging episode of Hey Sis, our special collaborative season with Paradise Cove. Chef T in the building.
Thank
Please
you.
stay blessed.
Joey's bad side, so for me, just see when he want that good ride. Follow my stride, you know you want a good time. Pick any card, I know it won't decline. He know how to please me, never tease me. Keep me in Givenchy, laced in Gucci. Quick, take the keys and drive to Chelsea. He is Scalini, order linguine. He ordered the chateau, we got it to go, then flew to the chateau. You already know, friends telling me they see the glow. There's no way they know, well I guess it shows. That's a seed you sowed, oh.
My baby looking too